Plaintiff Kristen Orendorf says she's a recovering alcoholic, and her daughter no longer lives with her due to her disease. Kristen claims in order to see her daughter, she had to undergo regular drug screenings. And one time, she asked the defendant to take the test for her because she had relapsed. Kristen is suing for the balance due on a moped and travel expenses. Defendant Leanne Edwards has known Kristen for 5 years. And although she admits that they were good friends, she also says she got tired of Kristen constantly meddling in her business. Leanne denies owing for the moped because she feels they should call it even, since Leanne took the drug test for Kristen.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, start with you.
The reason we're here today is I guess I'm just kind of tired. I'm really tired of being a doormat to lots of people, but specifically the defendant right now.
Why do you think people take advantage of you?
I make it easy. My mother says we come from a long line of codependent people, and we call it swooping.
Okay.
You know, somebody needs a little help, and we swoop in and save the day.
Yeah, it's a good thing. As long as it doesn't cause you harm.
I understand. Thank you. I think I'm learning. After giving and giving and giving, it's just hard to come to terms with the fact that I'm left with nothing. I'm out a very cherished friend.
See, I told you.
I'm out a lot of money. The next part's going to be a little hard on me. However, let's start, I guess. Judge Mathis, my name is Kristen, and I'm an alcoholic. My first marriage is a casualty of the disease. And I have a wonderful 6-year-old little girl now, though. The hardest day ever of my life was watching my ex at the time pack up my stuff and my infant daughter and drive up north where he got transferred, whereas I stayed back in Houston and admitted myself into alcohol rehab.
Okay.
Well, one of the stipulations of my divorce was that I would subject myself to random alcohol tests when I would see my daughter, so that my ex knew that I was on the up and up and my daughter was safe. This is the last one he administered.
Let's see.
It goes back 80 hours, so it shows at least 3 concurrent days of sobriety and stuff like that. I mean, that's really the only...
Zero alcohol. Very good.
Prior to that particular test, a couple months or maybe even 6 months before then, he had tried to administer one, and I wasn't quite so sure I was going to pass that one. So I asked my friend at the time to urinate for me and make me have a clean test. The
defendant.
Right. Which was absolutely wrong. Morally, I mean, it's just wrong on so many levels. For me to ask her, and it was kind of somewhat wrong to agree to it too. It's come to my attention, though, that she seems to think that urine was an admission that I was forgiving this first loan for the moped.
Okay, tell me about this agreement and why you are suing her regarding this so-called agreement or lack thereof and the loan you made to her.
Okay, we met in 05-06. We worked for the same veterinary clinic. She, I think, pretty much disliked me right from the start. She's admitted to that. I think a lot of that was probably envy. I was...
What, she couldn't outdrink you?
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Yeah.
One of the main reasons that I didn't like her is because, she's too close. She's,
And you can smell that alcohol.
Oh my God, you would not believe how many
having
times.
fun, ma'am. You know I'm going to have a little fun.
I'm okay with it.
Go ahead.
And I covered her at the job when my supervisor would come ask me if she'd been drinking. And nope. I was with her, blah, 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 But I mean, it's just, it's them. It's her whole family. They're like that,
They like to get in your face.
Yeah, and they meddle.
But it didn't stop you from taking everything you asked.
Yeah, but you were not supposed to. Your Honor.
Oh, you don't
My son called her after Danny and my husband and I found pills in his room, grounded in.
You're not going to do this. I cannot believe you're going to throw your teenage troubled son under the bus on national television.
Well, you called the cops on him?
I didn't call the cops on anybody.
But she didn't call
I didn't call any cops.
She didn't call on television. I'm with you.
She was mad because I told my mother.
Hey, that's not...
And now she's telling everybody in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of a parent does that?
But I'm trying to explain to how she meddles. My wedding, oh my God, that was a disaster.
What happened?
I had a DJ nearly all paid for. Her family.
You didn't
has a
pay for
friend.
it. I paid for them.
I'm talking about the one I had before you.
How many weddings have you had?
I'm talking about my last wedding. I've had two.
All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
Now I had a DJ nearly paid off. We all went to the boat that one weekend. She had her friend of the family, DJ singer, show up. She wanted to use him. You know, I agreed.
He played for you. He sang for you. You were crying.
Okay.
Because it was so
Still,
bad.
so good.
She's going, you don't know why
still,
she was crying.
She meddles. She wanted, like, I had made almost everything for my
This
wedding.
woman trying to look out for you from what I'm hearing. She tried to look out for you and your son's issues. Tried to look out for you with this bad music at the wedding. And let me see
and
how
and
else.
not having transportation to and from
Right,
work.
that's what,
And there's a
let me
witness
have
statement.
that, please, Doyle. Because obviously you tried to look out for her in this instance. And what happened?
She had been living with the owner of the clinic. He had a house in the back of the clinic. So she had been walking back and forth to work. Well, her and her now husband had split up for a while, so her and her teenage son had to move. Well, then she couldn't get back and forth to work. So we went to Honda, and I just paid outright for this moped. Brand new moped with a helmet, because I was
Brand
worried about
new.
her. Brand new.
How much?
You have the paper.
And what was the agreement? Yep,
We didn't have anything written down or anything like that. It was just that whenever she had the money, she would give it to me in installments until it was paid off.
And how much has she given you?
I recall 2 payments of $50.
Travel expenses, how does she owe you for that? This only comes to $26.33. You're suing for $33.61. What travel expenses?
Okay, and I'm trying to be fair on this. Okay, and maybe I was swooping, but like I said, she was accepting all of my help. I had booked, my husband and I got married on August 8th of this year. So I was booking a honeymoon. I got this great cruise deal. And she'd never been on a cruise, and they hadn't been on a vacation in I don't know how long. So she didn't have a credit card, so I put the cruise on my credit card, saying that I would pay for one per passenger as a wedding gift to her, and that they would just pay me by the end of the year because her husband's job is seasonal.
And what happened?
Well, we got into this fight over her son and this issue. And so she got real mad at me. And before the trip even happened, before her wedding even happened, I was a bridesmaid, he was a groomsman. Well, the thing is, we went on the trip. They didn't.
Why?
It was non-refundable. She kicked me out of her wedding.
So she canceled
Right
the cruise.
before.
Right, and what does that have to do with the trip?
Well, I mean, she kicked me out of the wedding. I mean, and this was under the pretense that we were all going together on our honeymoons. But if she kicked me out
Was
of
it
the
an
wedding,
agreement or was it a pretense?
it was a verbal contract.
She said, I will pay for the trip.
Yeah, that
You
her
just
half.
told me
one
you-
half. I paid for one passenger, and she would pay for the second.
Who was the second passenger?
Her husband. Her
Well, you
now
should be
husband.
suing him.
Well, that's kind of tricky.
Ma'am, let me hear from you. She says she put $26.33 on her card. You've only paid $100.
Okay, well, I have checks stating differently.
I said all I remembered.
Let me see it, please. Doyle,
Thank you.
Thank you.
what are you saying? You remember
I said
what?
that I just remember 2 checks of 50. I don't know.
All right. And all right, ma'am, this adds up to $300. What about the other $2,300?
What she said, about urinating in the balloon to get her to pass a urinalysis is correct. I didn't pay that because I was, I guess, under the assumption that it would be paid off, in exchange for this.
All right. When did this happen?
That happened in 11/08.
All right. Yet you continue to pay up until 2010. You forgot?
No, sir. Her mother called me in March of 09, and I told her what had happened. I told her the whole story.
All that is a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Why did you pay?
So,
why did you
a good
pay?
gesture. A good gesture. I made the $50 payment
Good
in
gesture?
March and
That's
April.
not what you just told me. You used these checks as evidence of your repayment of
Right.
the loan. Now you're changing it and saying they were good gestures. No, I'm going to conclude they were good payments.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to grant you judgment for $23.33, and that would be giving her credit for your good gesture. See, I'm a good man. I'm giving you credit for your good gesture as repayment,
Fair
reducing your liability to $23.33. I can't grant you travel expenses. That is between you and her husband. She was a recipient of a gift, and the husband was supposed to pay his half. He has not. Sue him. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I don't know. But it's over, and everybody everybody can go home happy.
Absolutely.
I respect her. I love her.
I don't have nothing.
Oh, come on.